Welcome back. So we have an organic matter problem. And, you know, multiple people have said, why don't you just buy compost? Well, I am not going to buy compost, and I'll tell you why. It's because compost is often contaminated with long-term persistent herbicides, such as aminopyrrolid, which is in grazon. Grazon is sprayed on grass, you know, in hay fields, and then the hay is sold to the animals, and then the animal manure still contains this stuff, and if you put it in your garden, you end up with a garden dead for a long time. I mean, ask Charles Dowding, ask Scott Head, ask Deep South Homestead. This is happening over and over again, and it's in all kinds of purchased manure and compost because the entire industrial stream is getting contaminated. So we are going to put a bunch of plant life on top of here, get some biology in the soil, make it alive, and then till that under in the spring and plant on top of it. So we will put a bunch of organic matter in place. But in order to do that, I've got to feed this area up a bit because it's horrible soil. But I'm just going to do it simple. I'm not going to make the whole mix and everything. I'm going to use cottonseed meal, and I'm going to use some lime with a little bit of potassium sulfate and some bone meal mixed in, and I'm just going to throw it. So that is it for the lime. Now I'm throwing some cottonseed meal around. I could not find an inoculant in good time. My clover seeds are already inoculated, but the beans and peas are not, and there is some overlap on the rhizobium. So we're just gonna go with it because I don't want to wait any longer to get something in the mail or to order it and whatever. So I am just gonna throw down seeds after this, but the cottonseed meal will take up and make the nitrogen available that they need, whether or not they can fix it themselves. This is just organic material triage here. So we got about 3/4 of a sack of lime and half a bag of bone seed meal and about a sack and 2/3 of cottonseed meal, and I think that's all I want to throw out there. That's enough money for a cover crop. Got here some black-eyed peas. These are going to freeze when the frost comes. I love doing this, by the way. This is the fun part of this entire enterprise. It's really not very much fun throwing the cottonseed meal and the lime by hand. All right, lentils. By the way, the black-eyed peas have a really good germination rate already, I know, because I put them in some of my other beds. And now I have some rye. Now this is not your boring rye, like that rye grass stuff that everybody plants in mild climates so they can have that green carpet lawn. No, this is actual rye like you make whiskey out of. And it makes a great big huge amount of root mass, which is what we're looking for. And then for my friends south of the border, pinto beans. These are also just, we're not looking for food out of these. We're just looking for cheap biomass, hopefully some nitrogen fixation, that kind of thing. speaking of nitrogen fixation, this right here is crimson clover. Throw a bunch of that in there. That's awesome. It's cheap. This whole bag was like $5. All right, what else do we have here? Oh, I have some Frostmaster winter peas. 5 pounds of these guys. Throw some of them in there. Why not? All right, now I feel like we're missing something here. What we are missing are brassicas. Let's throw in these daikon radishes. And I think I have some turnips. What the heck? Maybe if we're lucky, the deer won't get them all and we'll get some. And also got some curly leaf mustard. Notice how the seeds look almost exactly the same. Let's throw in just a little bit more of these black-eyed peas since I bought bags of them and they were cheap. There we go. Now that is a seed mix right there. Looks good. Let's throw it around. The seed is all spread. And if you have a neighbor with a tractor, I highly recommend making friends with them, because having a neighbor with a tractor is much cheaper than having a tractor of your own. And it's great, especially if you're only doing a tiny space. I mean, I could go out here and rake all these in, but I got a John Deere. Well, I got my neighbor's John Deere. That right there is how you... What? I'll see you guys later. I'm going on an adventure. Oh, that's it. And that is how you plant a food plot for deer. Or, hopefully, cover crops that we can till under in the spring, but we'll see what happens. Come here. And that is how you plant a food plot for deer. Or boy, do you want to come up here too? Come here. And that is how you plant a food plot for deer. Or, hopefully, as cover crops for our spring gardens when we can turn all this area under. We still have to do something about the deer. I know, everybody's like, that's a deer food plot. That is definitely a deer food plot. No, I've got a plan. I have a plan. Don't worry. You'll see the plan in the future. But until then, this is good enough. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. I will catch you all next time. And until then, may your thumbs always be green.
I buried my rabbit beneath the cherry tree one fine afternoon. Someday I know that we'll meet again on a fruit salad spoon.